Aloha, this is Linda, the physics coach, with another episode. This episode is about physics books. These days, a lot of teachers are assigning the open stacks because it's free, and that's great. This is the calculus-based physics open stacks book, which is excellent, actually. Unfortunately, the algebra-based college physics text from OpenStax is very problematic, and I would not recommend it. If your teacher has assigned the OpenStax for an algebra-based course, I highly recommend that you get a different book. And you can buy books super cheap on Amazon or other book dealers that are older editions. So if you didn't know, books go by their authors' names typically, except for OpenStax, which goes by OpenStax. The best algebra-based textbook on the market is Cutnell and Johnson. So that's the author. These are the authors. And I don't even know what edition it's in anymore. It's probably the 11th edition. So they don't really improve it that much because physics for these courses haven't changed for hundreds of years, primarily. I mean, some of the modern physics has changed, but not the mechanical and classical physics. So, but they have to do additions in order to, make more money. You can probably find a Cutnell and Johnson PDF online because you young folks know how to Google and find stuff. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's just a superior textbook. The explanations are excellent. So if you're struggling with whatever textbook your teacher has assigned, this book is only for, like pre-med, bio major, algebra-based physics classes, whereas other textbooks, for example, the Knight text, which is named after Randall Knight from Cal Poly, this is the calculus version for scientists and engineers that I've taught out of. So what happens is they write the book for the calculus based and then modify it for the algebra based. And sometimes there's just a problem with that. And why it's not great is they only wrote this for algebra based pre-med. And bio. So there's a lot of problems that are directly related to biology students, and for you pre-meds, MCAT problems. Now, the Knight text is very problematic, again, for the algebra base. I don't recommend it. I like the calculus-based book. This text, it's good. It's very wordy. It's challenging. But again, if I had this assigned to me, the Knight text for algebra, I would go ahead and get myself an earlier edition of Cutnell and Johnson. So I had something good to read. And the thing that is good about, very heavy. Randall Knight, the Knight text comes with this excellent workbook, and they have the workbook for both the calculus and the algebra based classes, and I highly recommend it. I mean, it's really great problems that help you understand concepts, and they have this for both texts. So if you, like, for example, I'm tutoring someone right now at the University of Hawaii, and they're using the Knight text, but the teacher didn't assign the workbook. So you might want to get it and make sure you Google and find the solutions. Yeah, everything's online now, so you can find all the solutions to everything. But I always assign this workbook when I teach out of Knight, but I only use Knight for calculus. If I'm going to teach algebra-based calculus, physics, I'm using Cutnell and Johnson. So, and then one of the best books ever written is Paul Hewitt's Conceptual Physics. He invented the course. It's the best-selling physics book of all time because high school students use it and college students use it for conceptual. If you're struggling with concepts in your course, you could get it. This is the 13th edition. I think he's even in a higher edition now. You could pick up a 6th edition for probably $3, and then it's just another reference for you to read, and it's super fun. He has excellent diagrams, and check yourself questions. You can cover up the answer. You can do the question and look at the answer. So you're constantly quizzing yourself. Just all the diagrams are so informative. And every topic you're going to study is in this textbook. And of course, the main reason why this is such a great book is because I'm in it. Here I am singing because I'm the physics chanteuse, but that's a whole nother story. But I highly recommend every physics major or physics student pick up a copy of Conceptual Physics and keep it in your library, because one day you might have a child or a friend who asks you why the sky is blue, and you can refresh your memory and find out in this book. It's just like one of these books that everybody should have. So highly recommend Conceptual Physics by the great Paul Hewitt, my mentor. So I highly recommend outlining the textbook. I'm a big fan of that. I think it wires your brain. And here's what I put in the notebook. So here, this is actually a sample book that I did for my students. My Billy Goat, there's Billy the goat. He actually ate the first couple of pages. But so if you outline the definitions, things you might need to remember, and it's kind of like your own Cliff Notes, if you know what that is. And so what happens is when you're writing all of this down, it wires your brain with the knowledge, I believe. And the other thing you can do, so I have each chapter, and then I'll have some solved problems in it. So this is just one sample little problem, but as you go through the textbook and you might find a solved problem in the text that seems significant, or perhaps your professor told you, like, pay attention to example problem 2 or whatever. Then, so here's sample 3.6 on page 128. So I rewrote it. So I have it for reference. Now, why is this important? Because, well, if you've ever been to a museum like the Louvre, what do you see in there? You see all kinds of artists repainting the masters. So this is kind of repainting the masters. You're rewriting a solution, and as you do it, it's wiring your brain. And the great thing about this is, so here I have a bunch of solved problems in the book. You could do the homework in the book. If you have an online homework system and you have to write the problems down, that helps. And then when you get ready to study for the exam, you don't have to go to the book anymore. You just pick up your notebook that you took, and then you can carry it. It's small. So it just helps, especially if you have a comprehensive final exam, then you can go back and review. And again, it's just definitions, basic ideas, and solve sample problems, and then the homework. And like I said, when I teach this course, I would allow my students to use their notebooks. This is when it was in person before COVID, because why not? You're not a physics major. If you're not a physics major, who cares? So I had students, the pre-meds would have 3 of these by the end of the semester. But actually, everyone loved it. They said that it helped them learn things. If you're a bio major, you used to doing flashcards. This is kind of a version of flashcards, but without flashcards. I recommend flashcards as well, if that's helpful for you. Okay, so take notes. I just have something. That's mine. So this is my book for this week, Quantum. Here's special relativity. I mean, I've done this throughout my entire career, and it's super helpful. And I keep them all, and I'll keep them for, here's my atomic. I look at this now, I'm like, what is this? So long ago. But it's just what physicists do. So I highly recommend it. Gosh, look at what I used to know. It's been so long since grad school. Anyway, okay. Well, I hope that was useful. I know people often hate books, but it's super important to learn how to read books, use books, take notes, and I'll do another lesson another time about how to take notes. But for now, that's it from the Physics Coach. Aloha, thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, aloha.